Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. Good to be with you today. It's a wonderful day here in Springs, and I hope it is where you are as well. I want to continue talking about good news and encouraging words from the Gospel of John. And today, I want to focus on chapter 8, verse 12. And here's what Jesus says. Jesus spoke to the people once more and said, I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness because you have the light that leads to life. And I'll read the 13th verse just to go with it. The Pharisees replied, You are making those claims about yourself. Such testimony is not valid. Well, in today's world, there are a lot of prescriptions, there are a lot of ways, there are a lot of people who want to tell you how to live. Um, they want to tell you how to live a life of luxury, how to make money doing this, how to make money doing that, how to find happiness doing this, how to enjoy life by being able to do such and such. And the people who have those advice probably are sincere. I know some are just shysters trying to make money. But even though it may have worked for them, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. From my perspective as a pastor over the years, I have been inundated by articles and books and suggestions of how to grow a church. And all of these will say, well, you do this, this, and this. And a lot of them became very popular over the years. And probably in some situations, they worked. But in most of them, they didn't. All they really did was cost money to someone who was given the advice. You see, all of us want to live, well, I shouldn't say that. Most of us want to live a life full of happiness and joy. I mean, why would you want something else? Why would you want a life of misery? Oh, I know some people think that's what they deserve because of what they did or didn't do. And I hope you're not one of them, but if you are, I want to encourage you to think differently. I mean, who wants a life that's just hard work, toil day and night, hopefully make it to the end, and then you die? Well, unfortunately, I think that describes the lives of a lot of people. It's not so much they intended to do that, as they just never found another alternative. And you can go into any bookstore and there are racks and racks and racks of self-help information, how to improve this, how to improve your image, how to improve your ego. I remember a book that was recommended to some of my students when I was teaching a number of years ago. It was entitled How to Dress for Success. I remember an ad on a billboard in the town where I lived that said, such and such, the avenue of success, the address for success. And I don't know how many people moved there thinking that that would make them successful. You see, we all want the same sort of thing. And that's a life of joy and happiness. And when we get to the end of it, we can look back and we can say something like, boy, I'm so thankful for what I've been able to do and see. Well, I want to share this morning really the only true and absolute direction and solution for finding that life. Jesus said it. Here is what he said again. I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness because you have the light that leads to life. If you follow Jesus, if you live your life trying to do what he said, trying to walk in his ways, as I heard and keep saying occasionally, we need to walk so close to Jesus that the dust on his feet make our feet dusty. You see, the closer we walk to Jesus, the more the guarantees. And what are the guarantees? Well, he said it here. You don't have to walk in darkness because you'll have the light that leads to life. You can walk in darkness if you're a follower of Jesus. That's your choice. Everybody makes their own choices and they live with them. I can't tell you what choice you need to make. I can tell you what choice I think is certainly the better one, and I encourage you to do it, but I can't make you choose anything. You can't make me choose anything. We're all responsible for ourselves, and we all make choices. Sometimes they're good ones, and sometimes they're bad ones. But Jesus said if we follow him, we don't have to walk in darkness. What is darkness? Darkness is unknown, concern, worry, anxiety. We don't have to do that. There is another path. And the path, he says, is walking with him because you will then have the light in the sense of the guide that leads to life. You see, God started out in the garden wanting to fellowship with man. He wanted a close relationship with you and me. And then sin entered in, and whatever you think about that story of the Garden of Eden, somehow or another, sin entered into the world, and it all got messed up. And it's still messed up. Now, it's true that 2,000 years ago, Jesus came to right the ship again, and he has, but it's not fulfilled yet until the second coming, which hasn't happened yet. But in the interim period where you and I live, we have the opportunity to walk with the one who has the light. And if we do, we are guaranteed to have life, and as he said in John 14, have it more abundantly, or John 10:14. However, the last verse that I read is where so many people find themselves. The Pharisees replied, "You're making these claims about yourself, and such testimony is not valid." There are always scoffers around. There are always people who want to say, "Oh, yeah, right. I know someone who walked with Jesus and look what happened to them." Or, "Oh, come on, don't believe that silly stuff. You can have all of this if you want it." Yeah, there are always people who want to disagree with what God said. But that doesn't mean they're right. Jesus is the truth. You don't have to believe me. Try walk within him and find out for yourself. Jesus wants to give you and me life. It's up to us to decide whether we want that gift or not. So I hope you'll look at your life and think about it and maybe do some assessing. And I hope it brings you some good joy that you can change, or you can do a better job, and you can experience all that God wants for you. Well, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. I know you don't have to take the time. And I wish you God's bless. May everything be truly wonderful in your eyes today. If you have a need or a prayer concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can to help meet your need. Until later, I'll talk to you again.